Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in to my super chat. Thank you for your support. Eric H526, Luke St. Martin, hello. Ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor. Below in the pinned comment, and from now on, I'm just going to start off by asking everybody to read and share my, I wrote a couple articles in Huffington Post Sports, and I love sports, and I love talking about all different types of sports, and I wrote an article that I think everyone should read, and you might not agree with it, or you might agree with it, but if you read the article, you will get a sense as to why I make the statement. It's really, really interesting. Share it with anyone who is a boxing fan. I think any sports fan will enjoy it. It's titled, Floyd Mayweather Jr. is the most dominant athlete and boxer of all time. And I make the case, I state the case. So you might say, oh, HA, what are you talking about? Well, no, read the article. It was written in 2017, and nothing's changed. I don't think anything's changed in my mind. But read it. If you agree or disagree, you can share it with people. And it's an interesting read. You'll love it, even if you don't agree with it. If you do agree with it, you'll definitely love it. But it's Floyd Mayweather Jr. is the most dominant athlete and boxer of all time. That's below in the pinned comment, ladies and gentlemen. So please go ahead and share that. And also, of course, subscribe to A. Trey Goodman's other channel. That's on its way to 20,000 subs. And if you want to support my work on Patreon, that's below in the pinned comment. And if you want to be part of a newsletter, it's contactgoodman78@gmail.com. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to talk about this evening. William Barr is basically telling the House Democrats in Congress want to, William Barr to testify because he forced out a Southern District of New York prosecutor. So it's interesting. Generally, you have investigations because there's either a crime has been committed. Jimmy from Philly, getting it. Jimmy from Philly. Hello, Jimmy from Philly. Generally, an investigation begins when a crime has been committed. So the Watergate investigation began because there was a break-in. Because a group of people broke into the Democratic National Committee headquarters. In the Watergate building, there was a break-in. The break-in was linked to... We knew the break-in was linked to Nixon's administration early on. But there was a break-in. People were not moderately to highly confident that there was a break-in. It was a burglary, okay? There was no confidence level, and there was no Steele dossier, and there was no conjecture and hearsay and gossip. There was no need for George Papadopoulos to be set up and Michael Flynn to be set up. These people never committed crimes. There was a break-in in Watergate. And because of that break-in, there was a cover-up. There was a crime committed, and then a cover-up of that crime. There was never any link. There was never any link to the DNC emails being published and President Trump. Never. Not one piece of evidence do they have now or did they ever have. But they investigated President Trump out of suspicion that something could have possibly taken place. Okay, that's not how things work. You're not supposed to investigate people based on suspicion. If you investigated people based on suspicion, there would already have been a Uranium One deal or Uranium One special counsel or a Clinton email special counsel, because there are a great many people from Judicial Watch, Tom Fitton, Greg Jarrett, Fox News, a whole bunch of people. We can go on forever. Joe DeGeneva, Victoria Tenzing, Dan Bongino, Black Conservative Patriot. We can go on forever. A lot of people are suspicious of things that happen while Madam Secretary had her servers with top secret intelligence. There are a great many people who are suspicious. But you don't investigate, well, if correlating two events was enough, then there would have already been a special counsel for Uranium One. But with Madam Secretary, it's always correlation does not equal causation. With President Trump, correlation must equal causation. You know, he fired Comey because Comey was right about to get the goods on him. Jimmy for Philly. Biden asked for a favor while waiting for you. Jimmy, he asked for a favor. I think there were subtitles there too. Jimmy from Philly, thank you. So the issue here is that they want William Barr to testify not on a criminal act, not on evidence that they have that points to William Barr covering up a criminal act, because they haven't yet. They never impeached President Trump on a criminal act. They impeached President Trump on obstruction of Congress and abuse of power. These are subjective allegations. These are not legal statutes that he broke. Okay, Bill Clinton, oh my goodness, they were so unfair with me. I said what is. Bill Clinton was impeached on criminal statutes, obstruction of justice, and perjury. He lied under oath. I did have relations, but I was so stressed out. By the way, really quickly, it's so absurd, and I hope that people understand that the whole thing's a charade. Check out my latest segment. This is further confirmation today. Hillary Clinton's going to be the nominee, and that I will have made the biggest political call of all time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Eric H526. Thank you. If you look, ladies and gentlemen, there's an article today. Record number of voters believe most political surveys. What? They reached people who answer political surveys and ask them if they believed political surveys. Do you understand how absurd this is? Record number of voters believe most political surveys. What does that even mean? The number of voters who said they believe most political surveys reached 41% in a new Hill-Harris survey, a record for the poll. What does it matter? Who cares? Roughly 4 in 10 voters say they, quote, believe most political polls, but not certain sources. Up 34%. Up from 34% who held that view in October 2019, and 37% in 2018. Voters in the latest survey were also less likely to say they almost never believe polls. Does anyone enjoy the absurd nature of all of this? They contacted, I'm sorry, I'll get back to William Barr in a second. They contacted people who answer the phone and actually interact with an electronic, voice or an actual person. Press 1 for, hello, this is a CNN poll. Press 1 for, if you'd like to spend 35 minutes of your time that you'll never get back ever for this poll. Doot. Thank you. Question number 1. Do you believe polls? Yes. Press 1 for yes. Press 2 for no. Doot. Oh, thank you. Great. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day. And we're going to ask you 20 other questions. Are you okay with this? Do you have 1 hour to spend? Doot. Okay, let's get started. The people who are going to answer, yes, I believe these polls, are people who spend time on the phone. This is hilarious. Okay, the polls are public relations. They do not reflect public sentiment. By and large, if you ask, do you have a favorable view of somebody? That's accurate to an extent. But that doesn't mean will you not vote for this person? Also, they can't really correlate to that means you won't vote for this person. Old school dad man, we'll see before the election will be historic. It'll be historic, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. And I'm like the Rosetta Stone of Bandini. So just come to this channel and I will sift through, so you don't have to, all the you know what. And I will be able to decipher and interpret everything, because I speak that language, the language of the Democratic Party. It's a fantastic language. Old school dad man, thank you. Eric H526, Luke St. Martin, thank you. And you look, CNN, Joe Biden frightens Donald Trump. If you already hit an iceberg in 2016, why would you go full steam at another iceberg? Do you not realize that your ship will sink? Do you not understand, Democratic Party? You are heading towards an apocalyptic moment. Oh my God. Do you imagine 4 more? You're going to have 8 years of Trump. And please, God, have him groom Donald Trump Jr. And Donald Trump Jr. will again defeat Clinton in 2024. Actually, I don't know. That will be that maybe. She'll run again in 2024. She's running in 2020. They have nobody. The Democratic Party is not a political party of ideas. It's a political machine that's run on legal graft. Just like Tammany Hall, just like Boss Tweed, Tammany Hall, the Gilded Age. We already have DNC lawyers stating in court they could pick their nominee in smoke-filled back rooms. But ladies and gentlemen, this relates to William Barr, and I'll tell you in a second how it does, or in a minute, or 10 minutes. But you got to understand something. Kaylee Smith! Have you ever watched the United Sports parody videos? They are gold. He did a parody this weekend at Bernie's with Sleepy Joe. United Spots. Okay, United Spots parody. I have not, Kaylee. I have to check that out. I have not. Let's see. Let's see, Kaylee. Okay, I have to. I gotta check that out. Okay, that's interesting. It looks good. It looks okay. Thank you, Kaylee, as always. Thank you for watching, Kaylee Smith. Thank you, Jimmy from Philly. I'm an old landscaper and got to get up at 6 a.m. Check my channel and bing, you pop up. So I gotta watch. Oh, thank you. Get it up. Comment hook. Get it up. Comment hook me, dude. Okay, so let's go, Jimmy from Philly. I'm gonna try to see your channel right now, Jimmy from Philly. I think it's Jimmy from Philly, right? Let's see, Jimmy from Philly. Okay, so go Eagles! Jimmy from Philly. Jimmy from Philly, that's your channel. Awesome. Awesome. Nice shirt. All right. All right, Jimmy from Philly. All right. All right, Jimmy from Philly, thank you. Thank you again, Jimmy from Philly, thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, old school dad man, Kaylee Smith, Jimmy from Philly. Beverly! Time to stockpile popcorn. That's true. Do you remember? Do you remember? Time to stockpile. Exactly. Oh my God. It is going to be biblical. Beverly. Thank you. Oh my God. Is it going to be amazing? Is it going to be amazing? But here, I want to thank you, Beverly. I want to say something that's really important. Okay, aside from please share my latest upload prior to this one about Madam Secretary. She was interviewed by Amy Schumer today, and she wants to retire the president. That doesn't mean she wants Joe Biden to be nominee. This is a simple game to just sweep up the delegates, make sure nobody can even possibly take the nomination, and then seamlessly give it to Madam Secretary. It's a political machine. God bless her. I will have made the biggest political call of all time. But anyway, aside from that, I was today, and every day lately, I've been thinking, walking, driving down the street, going into the grocery store, running errands, whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, Beverly, everyone here, Kaylee, when you are Eric H526, Luke St. Martin, I have a question for everyone here. They say this is such a divided, polarizing time in American history. Okay, it's not even close, but it's all social media hysteria driven. Okay, but this is such a polarizing time. The country is so divided. The country is not divided. We've always had different viewpoints. This is the most sad and pathetic and hilarious attempt at propaganda. We're not a divided nation. We have one side, one political spectrum, one political party, one ideology that has had a temper tantrum since 2016. And they're not going to go with Biden. They're not going to go, okay, since 2016, they have not stopped stomping their feet, yelling, screeching at the top of their lungs that the sky is falling. They have not stopped. They have not stopped, ladies and gentlemen. They have not stopped investigating. They have not stopped accusing, trying to basically circle the wagons around a whole bunch of completely debunked allegations. Trump worked with Russia. Trump withheld military assistance. There's no evidence for any of this, but correlation equals causation with Trump. Because a whole lot of people said a whole lot of things. But if people say, the money flows, William D. Campbell says money flowed from Uranium One into the Clinton Foundation for a reason. Oh my God, he has no proof. But the Democratic Party and media simply lost. So instead of simply saying they lost, they say the country's divided. That's another way of saying they're upset Trump won. The country is not divided because when you walk into the supermarket, you don't know what the other person there, like all the other people there, you don't care what their political beliefs are. And you don't care if you're getting gas and the other person in the other car getting gas near you is a Trump supporter or a Democrat. Just like you wouldn't care at any point in U.S. history if you're walking down the street and you see a person you don't know because you wouldn't know what their viewpoints are. Now, Democrats, liberals in general have taken it to an extreme. They now say, well, I'm not talking to a family member, I'm not talking to a friend because they like Trump. Well, that's their problem. It's their loss. If your life revolves around purging yourself of Trump supporters, don't be a hypocrite. When it's that business associate, or when it's that customer, or when it's an opportunity to make money, you better make sure that your value system continues at that point. But these people are hypocrites, so of course it won't continue. My point is they pick and choose. They pick and choose. New York May, hello. Thank you. But this is not like, I know people who don't want to talk to me anymore because I support President Trump, but you better believe if they were invited to a party hosted by Kanye West, oh my God, they would be so happy. You better believe if like John Voight wanted to fund a movie and have them direct, oh, you better believe they would be like, no problem, love Trump, yeah, a little bit, But if it's little old me, oh, big pride, I don't want to talk to you anymore. That's your problem, buddy. That's your problem. So, I think it was Voltaire who said, you diss me, you diss yourself. So, either that or either Voltaire or Snoop Dogg. But that's true. If you diss me, generally, you're going to diss yourself. And the same goes for everyone watching. If there are people who don't want to talk to you because you support President Trump, those same people would cry tears of joy if they were invited by Kanye West to a grand opening of an art gallery or a premiere of a movie or a record or whatever. These people are generally hypocrites on everything. Believe Biden, but don't believe Kavanaugh. We can go on forever. But my point, though, is long-winded as always. We're not a divided country. Without social media, Democrats have absolutely nothing. President Trump has a great many different mediums. If Trump gets kicked off Twitter tomorrow, believe me, wherever he goes will be like, heaven sent in terms of building that platform. If Democrats get kicked off Twitter, you better believe that they're like not. There aren't that many people who are going to actually go and make sure that they're able to to read the latest from disgruntled, angry, from people who are disgruntled and angry and scorned that they lost. So you're looking, ladies and gentlemen, at a very interesting time period. This is not a sustainable time period. The Democratic Party, if you disagree with them, you are now emboldening, championing, you are on the side, you are advocating something you're not advocating. But if you disagree with them, they're going to say, oh, well, you advocate this. No, I don't. Well, you do because you disagree with me. Their sense of logic is completely off. Once you've done away with basic logical reasoning, basic logic, you can't win in politics or life or anything else. You've done away with logic. If you don't know why you lost, you won't be able to win again. And they have no clue why they lost. They have no clue. Absolutely no clue. Then they're like AOC won, but then she's like, which is, I knew she'd win, but because in terms of media, nobody could touch, on the left, nobody could touch AOC in terms of media. But you have to understand, there's a reason that if, like, Ben Shapiro wanted to debate AOC, could you imagine? Could you imagine how amazing that would be? Green New Deal legislation or resolution was never voted on in the House as legislation. It was they tried to vote on it in the Senate as legislation, and some Democrats voted against it, and most Democrats voted present. And they haven't passed any climate change laws, major climate change laws in the House that Trump has vetoed that have to do with the Green New Deal. They haven't passed a Medicare for All bill in the House. What is it that I want to know what AOC has achieved in terms of laws, aside from rhetoric and getting, retweeted a million times. But see, the thing is, it's very good that AOC won. I'm very happy because she helps President Trump. They don't see that. They don't understand that. But it was about a couple months ago. No, it was last year. Swing states define Democrats. Let's see. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez defining Democrats among swing states. In swing, that's great. That's fantastic. If Pennsylvania has to do away with coal tomorrow, that Trump gets an even greater. Trump is assured of an electoral college victory. Notice how they don't talk about these issues getting closer to the election. Notice how they don't talk about these issues. They talk about Medicare for All and a Green New Deal about a year before the election, year and a half, 2 years. Then it's about 4 to 5 months before November. Not one word about Medicare for All. Try to find any article written. Try to find, is Bernie even talking about it? What's Bernie Sanders talking about? This is New York Times. The second defeat of Bernie Sanders. Okay, because Biden won New York. Whatever. Okay. Biden won New York, and it's going to be, Hillary Clinton is going to be nominee. They're not going with Biden. She's actually going to do something that's really unprecedented. She'll be the first person to become nominee without having, well, no, that's not true. That's not true. But she'll be the first candidate to actually say that she's not running and then just run because of some bizarre reason they're going to give. AOC, it's come to a point where AOC and Bernie Sanders are helping President Trump a great deal, especially AOC, maybe not so much Bernie. But it's interesting. The Amazon debacle would have sunk any campaign. But voters were like, oh, that's fine. Who needs 40,000 to 100,000? Because the estimate was about 100,000 new jobs in economic activity, not just 25 to 40,000 jobs, but whatever. But great, I'm very happy. I'm very happy she won. It's actually fantastic for President Trump. But again, you have AOC, you have Joe Biden. Absolutely any gaffe is covered up by media, and they actually create subtext and intent and meaning with Trump's words. So, but William Barr does not need to testify. That's why he's not going to testify. That's why he doesn't care. He didn't commit a crime. This is what, Democrats are funny. The notion that you would investigate them for actual potential criminal activity, you can't have top secret intelligence on servers. You can't have that. That's impossible to have. But the notion you would even complain about that is, oh my God, it's been debunked. The 20% at one point of uranium capacity was sold to a company eventually controlled by Putin. That is a fact. But then they say, well, you said that Madam Secretary did it all herself. It's no, I don't really care. The question is really, nobody said that one person owned all the uranium capacity. That's not the issue. The issue is, why didn't anyone speak up if the Democrats are if Russia is so frightened of the Democratic Party? Why, if you're Russia, why would you be frightened of a political party that allowed you to acquire 20% of U.S. uranium capacity at one point? Why would that frighten you? Why would it frighten you to have a Secretary of State with top secret intelligence on servers running outside of the United States government that were unencrypted for 3 months. Why would that frighten you? I want to know. Then they say, well, Tulsi Gabbard is a Russian operative. And President Trump's a Russian operative. Everyone they don't like is a Russian operative. Literally everyone they don't like is an operative of Putin. A Putin puppet. It's a Putin puppet. So congrats to AOC. It's fantastic. If anything, she has helped, like, the fact that Democrats are going with Biden at this point right now, and eventually will give the nomination to Madam Secretary somehow. Just type in Maggie Haberman. She's actually a great, she's a great journalist. Maggie Haberman is a great journalist at the New York Times. And not many great journalists there, but she's a great journalist. What you can't say anything bad about Maggie Haberman, except if you're on the left, she had the audacity to say that Biden's a flawed candidate. That's being generous. You're talking about a person that looks like an exhumed body and communicates like one also. Then you have Democrats that are going to lose again. And then there's like a poll that shows that most people trust polls. This is the thing also, like you look, they think they have Trump on the ropes. They keep on saying, "Oh my God, he's on the ropes, he's on the ropes." But they don't realize that they're going to lose on November 3rd. The polls, first of all, it is not accurate to say that Trump is down 14 points to Biden when nobody has seen Biden, and his live streams are horrendous with technical difficulties, and it's like you can't even get into it. You can't even people are unfollowing Maggie Haberman on the left. They're unfollowing Maggie Haberman. Oh my God, this is hilarious. Now they're going after New York Times reporters for actually defending Maggie Haberman and saying that Biden is not only flawless, she's actually doing Democrats a favor. First of all, it's already happening, people. He's not only a flawed candidate, they have no intention of going with Biden. They're not going to... They have zero intention. This is an entire charade. They're not going with Biden. He was never a viable candidate for the presidency, ever, ever, ever. But now you see, like, Anthony Andrea. HJ, I got here late. Has anyone mentioned the being done gaslight issue? I stay away from that topic, Anthony. I don't. Let's put it this way. My stance is the following. God bless them for trying to protect people's lives. There are other issues that, I don't really address. But Anthony, I have not. I don't exactly know what you're referring to, but I'll leave it at this, Anthony. Anything the Democratic Party touches, they have the reverse Midas touch. So anything Democrats, like you saw what happened with Tara Reade. I'll leave it at that. Just basically, Anthony, when Democrats in Hollywood, like the public service announcements, when they touch a noble cause, or when they try to adopt a noble cause, the opposite takes place. Anthony, thank you as always. I wish I could. I don't really know exactly what you're referring to, but I wish I could speak further. But Anthony, thank you as always. Anthony, thank you. Wish I could give you a better answer. Kaylee Smith. All this about polls. Thank you, Anthony, again. Kaylee Smith. All this about polls 2016 all over again. The silent majority is stronger than ever. Information. Yeah, and also they don't really have the internet. This is also the funny thing. You know, Twitter, Kaylee, and Facebook are absolutely meaningless when it comes to politics. Absolutely meaningless. If anything, it hurts the Democratic Party to be so indebted to social media and yet have so little influence in real life. It's just like the movie Tron. Kaylee Smith, everyone here, remember the movie Tron? 80s movie, Tron? It's just like Tron. Kaylee, thank you. Jimmy from Philly! Yeah, I saw that. What happened? Jimmy from Philly, I can't really comment on that either. I don't know what that means. But I was on David Pakman's show. In fact, he just did a recent, somewhat recent. This is when I was a Bernie supporter. But I would love to debate David Pakman on why President Trump's a great president. If he would like, he can contact me at contactgoodman78@gmail.com, or why the Russian collusion nonsense was the most absurd setup of all time. President Trump was set up based on an ODNI report that stated moderate to high confidence. So I would read him the ODNI report. I would read him the DHS report that comes with a warranty disclaimer. I would ask him if he thinks it is fair or justified that Clinton purchases the Steele dossier and the DNC purchases the Steele dossier, and then they outsource CrowdStrike, and the Steele dossier is complete nonsense and gossip and hearsay and garbage. The CrowdStrike assessment was not only literally purchased by the Democratic Party, the DNC, but when asked, when he was under oath, the CrowdStrike CEO stated there was no concrete evidence. James Clapper stated there was no concrete evidence that Trump ever worked with Russia. And the intelligence community was only moderate to highly confident that the DNC was even hacked. That's in the ODNI report. So, if you look, I would actually read him this, which would be fantastic. Well, you know what? I won't even waste my time. But I don't think that he would want to debate me. I would love to debate him, but I don't think he'd want to. Because I'd ask him why Mueller found nothing, why President Trump was not impeached on any legal statute. Bill Clinton was impeached on obstruction of justice and perjury. Trump was impeached on 2 subjective allegations. Abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. So, it's a whole. And then I would ask him also if he thought Bernie was cheated by the DNC. I'd ask him a whole bunch of great questions. Beverly, thank you. Okay, so wait, Wally Pop. Boris and Natasha say Russian collusion is fake news and work of Moose and Squirrel. Wally Pop, thank you. But yeah, I have nothing against Mr. Pakman. Would love to debate him whenever he would want to. You know, it's all good. I have nothing bad to say about him at all. Ladies and gentlemen, so But Jimmy from Philly, I didn't really understand that message, but that's probably best that I didn't. Now they're defending. Wally Pop, thank you so very much. Thank you. Old school dad man, I don't know if I got you. Ed on time. My call, the officer of the GF case will be acquitted. No, I don't. When expert witnesses explain how the officer is covered by liability protection. I don't think so. Ed on time. I don't think that would be the case. But because he was because he stated he couldn't breathe, 30, 40 times, and the officer already had subdued him. So there was no reason to Eric Garner. Eric Garner, the same thing took place. And these things happen in Democratic-run cities, which is interesting why it would take place in a Democratic-run city and state. So I do believe that the officer murdered George Floyd, just like Eric Garner was murdered in New York City. So you see, New York Times journalists are now defending another New York, Maggie Haberman, from just the most scorned, angry, you have these Twitter accounts now. This is the thing. They're going, and now you have even Washington Post. This is interesting. Now you have even Washington Post journalists going after New York Times journalists. This is kind of hilarious. It's happening, people. It's happening. It's interesting. They're upset that a New York Times journalist called Biden a flawed candidate. He's not flawed. He's horrendous. That's like being very generous. Very generous. That's like being very generous, extremely generous to Biden. Extremely generous to Biden. He has accomplished nothing. He is one of the reasons that Libya is in chaos and mayhem now, because of the smart power that President Obama and Clinton implemented that obliterated the country through a failed NATO intervention, where even President Obama stated that was his worst mistake. He worked with segregationists. He wrote the crime bill. He stated just the other day, quote, that nobody could get away with unless you're a Democrat. This is why when they make categorical claims, like this person is a horrible, bigoted person, you have to take it with the understanding that if it was a Democrat who said the same thing, they'd be okay with it. Because Democrats don't hold Biden to the same standard they hold President Trump. So when Biden makes a statement like that that's horrendous with Charlemagne, they don't say, what a divisive, polarizing statement. They say, gosh, give them a break. Same thing with their YouTube pundits, their people, journalists on cable news. When they get caught with they don't get canceled. When they get caught with things that they wrote that would have ruined the careers of any conservative, well, you know what? It's just okay. It's, please give them empathy and forgiveness. Wally Pop, thank you. I think that Paul, hello. Paul Bartlett, hello. Thank you as always for watching, Paul. I think that you have to wake up every day. And like I said, I have the utmost respect for, just really quickly, I have the utmost respect for David Pakman, and if he would like to debate me on any topic, it would be my pleasure at contactgoodman78@gmail.com, but I'm sure that he would not, but whatever, it's all good. Trump is going to win, and that's just like for any liberal pundit that has 1 million subs or whatever, would love to. You could contact me if you have like 800 to 1 million. Contact me at contactgoodman78@gmail.com. My pleasure. But they won't debate me because I know exactly, like I know the Achilles heel of the Democratic Party. I know every talking point, and I could tear apart and eviscerate every single talking point because I used to understand that value system. The value system on the Democratic Party is malleable, fluid, constantly changing. There's this duplicity and disingenuous thought process that words are only offensive and polarizing and disastrous and divisive when Trump utters them. But when Biden, it's okay. When Clinton or Biden, it's not a problem. They complain about a divided country while at the same time calling half the country deplorable or 15% not good people or whatever. So it's kind of like interesting. The issue here, ladies and gentlemen, is the following. When you okay, Larry, will any Democrat strongholds break as businesses leave destroyed locations behind? I think so. Check out PragerU. We need fearless leaders to stand up while countries that support free thinking liberty. Yeah, I you know what? I like PragerU. Jimmy from Philly, relax. Just relax. Oh my God. Ay. Luke St. Martin, Eric H526. Ay. Okay, so let's change topics, people. Let's change topics. So, oh my God. So the bottom line is the following. Larry, thank you very much, Larry. Thank you. I think that you're going to see Minnesota. Minnesota could go to President Trump, Larry. So Nevada did not, Nevada and Minnesota had a different, although Nevada went through some issues too, but I think, Larry Whitaker, you're going to see states that Democrats won, either they're going to be much closer or Larry, you're going to see if President Trump wins Minnesota and he wins Nevada, they're done. If he wins Minnesota and if he wins Minnesota and he wins Ohio and Florida, you can go to 270 to win. Trump doesn't need to win Wisconsin, Michigan, or Pennsylvania. So, and on time, I don't think so. Because that's been happening, so I don't think so. Luke St. Martin. Eric H526, thank you. Ed on time. I don't think so because it's been happening. So, Ed on time, thank you. So, Larry, if they don't win Minnesota and Nevada, or let's say they don't win Minnesota, Trump still wins with the same electoral college, even if I did. I saw that. Jimmy from Philly. Thank you. I saw that. Jimmy from Philly. I mean, I saw the headline. I didn't, I didn't see I didn't click on it. But Larry, so PragerU is great. I think that Minnesota is going to be a big question mark for Democrats. I really do. I really do. I think Minnesota is going to be a huge question mark. And so that's the thing. Eric H. I think that Minnesota is going to be a huge question mark. So that, I mean, you look, ladies and gentlemen, and if Ohio and Florida is the key to President Trump's victory. Ohio and Florida is the key. And you're going to see, when Trump wins again, because he will, he's going to win again. They're not going to, okay, Biden wouldn't even get the popular vote, and they're going to go with Hillary Clinton. But my neck is tense. Larry, thank you. If you people, I am trying to go below the radar and just enjoy every single day until November 3rd and then beyond, my God almighty. Think of the long term, people. Think of the long term. Okay? When I was on the left, it was like, battles and beefs and all this stuff, and it's like, ay. It doesn't. It's useless. We're already in the home stretch. November 3rd, we're not on the ship heading towards the iceberg. They are. So it's like, it's fine. It's going to be fine. Let them go towards Jasher. What will HRC campaign on? Not being Trump. That's it. That's it. Thoroughly wrong. We will see much stronger action when it comes to the Durham probe. Much stronger action. Thoroughly wrong. Durham probe. Because, the other day, I listened to Maria Bartiromo. The other day, he's like, yeah, it depends. William Barr basically said it depends on who wins the election. He literally said that. Jasher, she'll campaign on not being Trump. It doesn't have to be under the radar. It could be fly casual. It could be coast. I don't know. It could be ride the wave. Ride the wave. Ride the orange Trump wave. Jasher. But the establishment counts the votes. Sparky, that's true, but they counted the votes with President Trump also winning. Jimmy from Philly. That could be the case. Jimmy from Philly. Thank you. Jasher. She'll run on not being Trump. You have to understand also, Jasher and everyone here, Sparky, Jimmy from Philly, everyone here, they're obsessed with President Trump. So Jasher, they're absolutely obsessed with him. That comes with a great many advantages for President Trump and disadvantages for them. Wally Pop! Joe Biden, more confused than a chameleon of bank skills. I'm Joe Biden. Wally Pop! That is creative. Wally Pop! Thank you. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, my philosophy on the next is that I'm peace and love, peace and love. When they asked Ringo Starr, I think he was like, this was hilarious. Ringo Starr was, this is like a long time ago. It was a video. It was a video that he did. It was an interview that Ringo Starr did, And he was trying to politely say, don't send any more requests for autographs. Or I forgot exactly what he was trying to say something to his fans. It wasn't a reprimand, but it was like something. And then he ended it with peace and love, peace and love, peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. So I am just from here on out. I mean, even if they wanted to diss me, I would politely respond on H.A. Goodman's other channel, which will have a wonderful segment right after this. But it's always peace and love, 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 peace and love. That's it. From here until past November 3rd, because you have to understand something. This is the 85 Bears, and they're the 85 Patriots, which are not the Patriots of, the 2000s, okay? This is a Super Bowl. This is a apocalyptic, I don't understand why they're doing this, but they truly think Trump is on the ropes. The opposite. President Trump's going to win, and he's going to defeat Hillary Clinton again. It's going to be fantastic. And I will be the only person on planet Earth of 33 million YouTube channels to call it out. Ladies and gentlemen, to my super chat, thank you, Jasher. Will the Don get more of the... I think so. Ed on time. Ed on time, thank you. To my super chat, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I will see you. I'll be back at around 11:30. So be here at around 11:30, people. Thanks, everybody. God bless. To my super chat, thank you. I'll see you in a couple of hours, people. Be here in a couple of hours. Thanks, everybody. Peace and love. Peace and love. To my super chat, thank you. Please share my article on Floyd Mayweather everywhere. And subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel. I have a segment up right